we live in Sugar Land, and Sugar Creek, we always drove by it, and we just looked it up one weekend, and we found that that Sugar Creek was doing a live service and with children's ministry, and we just came in for a visit, and we just fell in love. And also our kids, they really enjoyed the kids ministry, and it was just great for our family, and we just found, I guess, a home.
Sometimes I'd be moved to tears during worship service, just, worshiping, and I felt like this is where we need to be now. And just listening to the messages, I mean, it's really where we were at. And I feel like that's where the Lord met us, where we needed Him to meet us.
I was in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, and I was part of a church that was planted 100 years ago. So we were celebrating 100 years of that church, and it was just great to just being able to look back at the history of the church and just seeing all the faithful servants who really poured their lives into it. And I think same thing with Sugar Creek. I know we've only been here for just a few years, but I can just looking around the auditorium during service, I just see all these multi-generation, and I also go to the men's Bible study on Wednesday morning, and the average age for the men there, I would probably say it's 60s or 70s, and just talking with them, I know that many have been there for decades, part of the church, and they've really been a foundation for the growth of the church, and I just really see God's faithfulness to this church through them.
So we were having a play date. My oldest son had a play date with one of his friends, and the mom just kind of turned to me and said, "Oh yeah, my son's been asking all these questions about God, who God is, and what is church, and why don't we go to church?" And it just came out of the blue. She didn't know we went to church. She didn't know we were Christians. We had never talked about it. We were just getting to know them. And when she asked that, I said, I kind of let her know that we were going to Sugar Creek. We just started going. And I said, well, y'all are welcome to join us on a Sunday. I told her what times we go. And she kind of offhandedly said, there's no way we would ever set foot in a church, or her and her husband would never set foot in a church. And I said, well, if your son is interested and wants to go, we're happy to take him when we, go on Sundays. And our sons played very well together. So she kind of thought about it. And then I think she's like, yeah, that might work, she said. And so that's kind of how it started. We just started bringing him on Sundays when we go.
I think when we started taking the first family, the older brother and the younger sister, our second son, he wanted to have a friend to come also, and we told him, let's start praying. Let's pray for a friend, a classmate, that God can open a door so that we can take them to church with us. And God just really answered that prayer, because shortly after, that's how we met the second family, and that's how we started bringing their son to church with us. So I just feel like it's amazing to see how God moves in these kids and how He's drawing these young kids to them and just really tugging on their hearts.
To me, it was very clear. This was the Lord moving in the hearts of these little kids, wanting to know who God is, wanting to know why they're here, just to the basic questions that we all ask. And to me, it was a no-brainer. Like, they want to go to church, so we were going to take them.
I get excited because I've seen firsthand how God has moved communities, moved churches, and drew His people to Him. So I'm excited because I feel like some of these things only God can do, and it's just amazing. And I'm just looking forward to what God's going to do with our church and with our people.
When I think about that, I think about how we are all unfinished, like individually, and we are broken, we're messed up, we make mistakes, and then God just keeps on working on us and hasn't given up. And so exciting to hear that our church is also unfinished, because it's made of unfinished people. So
when I think of the word unfinished, it's a reflection of my life, our lives. I feel like I'm constantly growing, I'm learning, I'm falling, but I feel like looking back, I feel like I learn from my mistakes. I get up, I continue growing, and I just really see God's grace in my life and how good He's been and how He's molding me and shaping me to become more like Jesus every single day. I still struggle with personal issues. We still fail, but God's gracious, and I think same thing with the church. I think the church goes through seasons of growing, struggles, but God's faithfulness carries us through that. And that's what I see with our church going forward, just seeing God's work in our church and just molding us and shaping us so that we can bring glory to Him.
My name is Teresa, and I'm unfinished.
My name is Michael, and I'm unfinished.